Hi there, and welcome to Christmas Cheer Central. Today I'm going to show you a short little technique video, and I'm going to be using masking. First, I want to introduce you to the set that I'm going to be using, or the bundle I'm going to be using. The bundle comes with this Frosted Forest set, the die cuts, and then it comes with a bunch of templates or masks to go with it. It has both the pine tree and the deciduous tree, okay, in the mats. Today we're going to use the pine tree. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'm going to show you how we're going to use these templates, okay? First, I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock. And this cardstock is 4 1/4 by 3. I'm using my grid paper here, and I'm just finding a spot, and it doesn't really matter where on the paper, okay? I'm just finding a spot where I can put it. And then I like to make sure it doesn't shift on me too much. This is just a Post-it, and I know that it'll come off clean. I don't have to worry about it being too sticky. So I love my little Post-its. They're nice and inexpensive. Now the mats, there's 3 masks that we're going to be using, and you'll notice here in the corner you see there's a letter. There's an A. The next one is a B. Can you kind of see that there? And the next one is a C. So we're going to start with A. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my big pine tree on my piece of cardstock, and I want it centered in the cardstock with a little space on the bottom. What I'm going to do, because this is my first, is I'm going to take a pen or pencil, and they have this little notch here. And I want to mark this notch, and I'm going to put a 1 because it's my first pine tree that I'm doing. And that notch will help me line up each of the subsequent layers. I'm going to use my blending brush, and I have Garden Green for my first layer here. So I'm just going to kind of tap, and I like to move in circles, and it doesn't take a lot of work or effort here to kind of just work over, but I want to make sure it's dark enough. All right, that's looking good. All right, let me shift that. So see, there's my pine tree. Now I want to add, I'm going to move this over there. I want to add 2 little pine trees as well. So I'm going to lay this I'm going to put this on where I want it next to, I'm going to scoot it a little more there, next to my big pine tree. So because I'm doing multiple pine trees, that's why I numbered them. So here's my next notch, and I'm numbering this number 2 because it's my second pine tree that I'm doing. And I'm going to sponge it again with the Garden Green. Now these blending brushes, I have 1 per color. So general color like green and red and such. For the most part, I use them for those colors. And if you brush it off, you can even rinse them off. Some people put them in the dishwasher to clean them. And then you can continue on with that same color. And it works really nice. So I'm going to move here to my 3rd pine tree, putting it on the other side of my big pine tree. Get that where I want it, and I'm going to do my 3rd notch. So number 3 here. All right, I'm coming in Garden Green again, same color. I'm putting my 3rd pine tree on my paper. All right. There you go, I've got 3 pine trees. So now I want to come in with my 2nd layer. So I've got my B here. Can you see that there? B, there it is. And I'm going to switch my ink to a little darker of a green. So I have Mossy Meadow going on here. So I'm going to start with my first pine tree, and I'm going to line it up with my notch here. Get it lined up. And I know I just said I use the same brush for each color, but because I'm going back and forth so quickly and not kind of wiping down the brush at all, I just went ahead and grabbed a 2nd brush. So I'm going over in the Mossy Meadow for my 2nd layer. And getting it nice and dark, and I can move it. So you see how it lined up right below those branches? Isn't that gorgeous? All right, I'm gonna move to my 2nd notch, get that nice and lined up my second tree, come in with my mossy meadow here. There we go. And these mats clean up. All you have to do is rinse them right underneath the water, and all the ink comes off and you're clean and ready for the next project. All right, there's my tree. So I'm going to do my third and final pine tree here with my mossy meadow. Oops. Get it lined up with my third notch. There we go. And put it on down. So you can see why I don't want my paper to move, because my notches wouldn't mean anything if my paper shifted. So that's why I used that Post-it note there. All right, there they go. So aren't those cute layers? Now there is a third layer that you can do, and it's a C, and it almost looks like snow. So you could come in here, and I know a lot of people who have done different things, like maybe the embossing paste on there or some different pieces, but I'm actually not going to use the third template. I am going to emboss right on this. But one of the key elements to embossing is you want to make sure the ink is all dry before you start your embossing, or the powder will stick where you don't want it to stick. So in the card that I'll show you that I'm going to use this for, I have another piece of the 4 1/4 by 3 inch, and I'm going to show you how I stamped it. And then when I'm all done, I'll show you the card itself. So I used a saying, and this saying is actually from Greetings of the Season. And it just says, it's the most wonderful time of the year, because it is. And then I'm going to use the small pine tree from the Frosted Forests. And I'm bringing in my garden green. And so I'm going to ink this guy up, and I'm going to stamp it off not once, but twice. And then I'm going to stamp over top of my words. And the reason for that is I want it to be almost like a watermark effect in the background. Isn't that cute? All right, I think I've given my ink here plenty of time. And like I said, I don't want to take any chances, because I don't want the powder to stick where I don't want. So I'm also going to bring in my Embossy Buddy here and make sure I decling my page. Be careful on the ink that you don't smear it up into white or anything like that. Oops, I haven't stamped. Put the embossing powder away. I got carried away. First thing I'm going to do is, because I stamped this, I need to clean it. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Scrub, and I'm going to make sure I clean it really well. And because I don't want to carry that ink into my paper here. And I'm even going to stamp it off a little bit, because I've been bad and I haven't cleaned my scrubber in a little bit. I have a little bit of remnants of red on there. So I just like to stamp it off. So first I'm going to start with my big tree and Versamark and ink my tree up. And I'm going to just stamp right over top of my tree. All right. And then I'm going to do my small tree on one side and my small tree on the other. And these pine trees are right in that Frosted Forest bundle. All right. All right, now I'll bring in my powder. So I have my little powder pal and my white embossing powder. And I'm gonna shake it around here, and I like to flick it really hard because I want to get off anything that I don't want stuck in the wrong places. There's nothing more frustrating to spend all that time on this work and get it stuck in the wrong place. So then I'm gonna heat emboss this with my heat tool, and I won't make you wait for that heat emboss. So when I'm all done and get it set, there's my trees, and you see the shimmer of that white. Isn't that really cute with the multiple trees with their colors or dimension, and that beautiful snow sitting on top? So what did I do with this? Let me show you. Here's my card. So I added a little saying, and this saying's actually from Sophisticated Sled because I just thought it was a cute saying. I added a few little bling. My little blings are the iridescent foil gems. And this is a fancy fold. So my next video is actually going to show you how to assemble this card. And there's that stamp that I put there on the inside. So I'm going to show you how to do this in my next video. Until next time, happy holidays.